And we are live from the Piranha Pond, live at 5/7 Central. What's going on, everybody? Want to invite everybody to, I want to welcome everybody to the Piranha Pond. I'm your host, Kingfish Mac, joined today solo bolo for a minute by the mermaid, beautifulest thing in the pond, Miss Stigma. How you doing today, sweetie?
Hey, honey. Hey, cuz. We good. Good in the hood.
The hell is calling me? Sorry, I don't want to talk to nobody right now. Seems like as soon as I go home, my phone will start ringing.
Well, you already know how that goes.
Right. My boys, Mr. Franklin on the Flyer is at football practice. He said he's gonna chime in whenever he can. Jump on his on some mobile Wi-Fi from the park. And Nick Nass should have been logging in. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he lost track of time. In the meantime, we're gonna keep this thing rolling like we do. I think that you and me the other day, we was able to kind of keep things interesting, just the two of us. And I think today might, pretty much be the same type of scenario. It's a trip, right? We some of our most uh, uh, some of our most interesting pods have been, when we having differences of opinions and shit on social politics between, men and women and, that type of shit in the Black community. And the one thing that both you and I, kind of always, be standing firm on from two different directions is the fact that we got to do better in our community and shit, in the way that we support one another, the way we communicate with one another,
Right.
the way, the whole get down. And today when you had suggested that we do a current topics, I said to myself, well, damn, we just passed the 100-year anniversary,
Right.
of the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's been celebrated all over the country. Like every news feed has had some. CNN did a whole thing. And, the Piranha Pond, man, we've really been on some bullshit because we haven't really taken the time to touch and reflect on, what is historically
Right.
something very prominent. And, and I here, let me do this. Tell me if you can hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Where we at?
It's the roaring 20s.
Can you hear it?
The country is flourishing. Some African American communities are prospering, like the residents of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A remarkable Baptist pastor named Solomon Sir Jones is the pioneering filmmaker. His footage was lost for more than 50 years. Jones captures the bustling life of Greenwood, which could be any American small town. But Tulsa's whites don't like what they see. In May 1921, after a black man is accused of assaulting a white woman, a white mob rampages through the city. For a night and a day, they loot and burn Greenwood. The Fox News crew captures the only surviving footage. It is the bloodiest racial massacre in American history, leaving nearly 300 dead.
Yeah, that's real life bullshit right there, but definitely in our history.
Right.
Um,
And for those who really don't know or couldn't get a good glimpse from the video or couldn't really grasp what it was. It happened between May 31st and June 1st of 1921. It's when a mob of white residents, many of them deputized and given weapons by city officials, attacked black residents and destroyed businesses of the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Uh, it's alternatively known as the Tulsa Race Riot or Black Rock Wall Street Massacre. Uh, and it was pretty bad. They say it was the single worst incident of racial violence in America. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they said that the official count was like either 23 or 30 people dead, but the real account was like over 300 black people killed.
But it's just so bad it burned over 35 square blocks of neighborhood.
Right.
That's right. So, um, yeah, it was rough. It was bad. Here you had a thriving community, and they said what over 800 people was admitted to hospitals. You know, it was rough. They said what the Oklahoma Bureau of Vital Statistics officially reported 36 dead. So yeah, it was bad. What the massacre began? It began during the Memorial Day weekend after 19-year-old Dick Rowland, a black shoe shiner, was accused of assaulting Sarah Page, a 17-year-old white elevator operator. See, I'm tired of this damn narrative. Isn't this the narrative of all great epic burn down cities in America for black people, that the whole Emmett Till thing? I mean,
Yeah,
isn't
it
that
all.
always the narrative that somebody black flirted or touched or I mean, even as young people, because most of the times there's always somebody young, but even as young people, we were I, they were always they were always insecure of us, especially all black men. So what? Somebody might have said hi to Sarah, an elevator fucking worker. Like, was that really the cause of this?
Well, no, it
Shit.
was it was it was exactly. Hey, Trace, it was exactly what the narrator was saying, is that white people couldn't stand the audacity of these niggas being prosperous, being self-contained. Right. Here's the thing that kind of just throws me off. I'm class of '82, right, and I'm from the era of Black History Week in February that turned into Black History Month, right? So in school we were taught, all the traditional, Harriet Tubman's, Frederick Douglass's, and all the traditional, um, Black people who are Black issues, right, that have been addressed, including the civil rights, era, and Jim Crow. All of this kind of stuff was kind of taught in that week in February. Now we got a whole month, but do you realize that I was probably 40 years old before I knew of the existence of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, not only is this not taught to our kids in school, but
hmm
the history, we have a great oral history, in our culture, but nobody was telling us about this when we were coming up. Like, it's almost like, Nick always says about speaking things out of existence, but it's almost like you silence something out of existence. Like, this should have been something that should be prominent in the mentality of Black youth coming up, so that we'll know, what type of things that, I think we kind of live in the idea that this is America, and what somebody can't do, right? But our reality is that we have been, at the short end of some heinous fucking acts, man, over, the history of time, like things that America kind of, looks down on other countries for. They really did that shit to us. And it's almost like, we become complicit in erasing, such substantial events from the face of history. It's kind of like when I was coming up, you had the Martin Luther King, talk, but not the Malcolm X talk. It's like Malcolm X was looked at as them black Muslims, rebel rouser or whatever, if he even got spoke of at all. Not in my school. We didn't learn about Malcolm X until I was in youth authority. But my point being that, the oral traditions seem not to have been passed down about real significant events in our history. And I think that it denies younger people the opportunity to kind of build within our own community as kind of like the old people did. I always say, like with the business that Terry did in Inglewood with the cafe, me and Nick, we jumped in with all four paws to help this nigga become a success, not because we wanted him to become a success. It was because we thought about shit. When they first came to California, they had a restaurant, 2 generations before us. And for whatever reasons, that restaurant didn't survive and shit, right? Like my grandmother and, Uncle Tootie, Auntie Mer, all of them participated in that, right? This was before we knew anything about doing anything. But once that history came down, my granny was like, yeah, well, we had this ain't the first thing that, this family, we always had some kind of business going on. Then I wanted to be a part of continuing that tradition. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that the youth today really don't have a tradition to kind of feel like they're connected to. But I think that if we were connected to, Black Wall Streets and self-contained neighborhoods like that, I think that we would be a little more tolerant of people trying to expand and do business and, recycle Black dollars and all that type of shit.
Well, I'm gonna say this, in reference to this particular single event, kind of like shout out to the people that kept on it. Because in 1996, after 75 years after the massacre, it said a bipartisan group and the state legislature authorized the formation of the Oklahoma Commission to study the Tulsa riots of 1921. And they say the commission's final report published in 2001 states that the city had conspired with the mob of white citizens against Black citizens. And they recommended a program of reparations to survivors and their descendants. And the state passed legislation to establish scholarships for the descendants of the survivors, encourage the economic development of Greenwood, and develop a park in the memory of the victims of the massacre. And it was also, in 2020, the massacre became part of the Oklahoma school curriculum. That's the most important thing.
Right, exactly.
Because you know how they try to downplay our history. They don't want us to, because for 75 years, these people didn't talk about it.
Didn't talk about it at all.
You didn't know it. They didn't talk about it. Most people had left Tulsa. They was like they didn't talk about it. The people that did lived in fear, and they never told local authorities that they was like, like nobody outside of that community knew that had happened. So
right.
Again, I commend places like that actually get they just dues, like Rosewood. They even, they have a plaque in Rosewood in Florida about,
right.
Rosewood massacre and stuff like that. And I knew for a while they was trying to do like some reparations to descendants and stuff like that too. So, but then, I think the most important thing is like I think that, and I'm going to say this loosely, not trying to sound prejudiced, but I think that if most white people don't try to omit history, And what they don't get is that we've already accepted our history. We already know that it happened. And we still out here playing with your kids. We still out here doing sports and in the band and going to school with them and stuff like that. And, that's just like, anybody in anything, like don't omit me. You have a better chance of living more peacefully and harmoniously if you don't admit it, if you don't deny it. It's a
Right.
stigma, but there's a lot of stigma on America. Most of our early presidents weren't raped, and that stigma without within itself. It was more bad things done to this country than just slavery was a big part of it, but it was still more things that wasn't just done just to black people. So stop trying to tell people that the pilgrims gave you their damn land for free, or they was, stop trying to get people to accept that. Say you forced them west out of their territory. And consequently, it was done by white people too. But again, again, a lot of people were Europeans who had came here, and
Right.
stuff like that. So I just think that if like just kind of like stop saying like let's not talk about it. Like it didn't like for instance, one of the people that got killed at the Capitol in January. You know, they're telling their family, oh, we've moved past that date. We don't want to talk about it anymore. The fuck you mean? My child got killed working at the Capitol. On top
Mm.
of not even wanting to impeach the dumbass motherfucker who started it. And that's just another story. Now you telling me, oh, we just don't want to talk about it. Oh, we've moved past that date. Who's moved past that date? Who's moved past it? And how can you tell somebody's family to move past it?
Political shit, political currency. You know what I'm saying? Like, people's feelings are tradable. You know what I'm saying? You can
You know
trade
what?
in that shit.
I they they gotta be better than me because I'd be somewhere. Y'all be putting money on my books somewhere. If somebody is telling me. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna do right. I'm gonna do everything at that point. I'm gonna do everything I can just to make some noise, and it's probably gonna be a combination of all the wrong things. Because you telling me, I should just get over it. Get over it. Like I'm not gonna be right. I already tell you, I'm not gonna be right.
Well, shit, they've been telling us that, for the whole time that we've been. Well, we'll say they've been telling us that since 1865. But here's another question that comes into play for me. I think me and Nick had discussed one time about this organization called Recycling Black Dollars that we have become part of. And the central theme of that organization was, doing business with black business, right? In 2021, how valuable do we as a community, or how much value do we as a community place upon black business for real? What I mean is this. In the general conversation, I always say that there's always two conversations going on. There's what you're supposed to say and what you really do conversations, right? So in terms of this, what I mean is that rarely will you find anyone who will not lament, somebody's attempt to be in business, a black person's attempt to be in business. But when it comes down to it, if I create a tennis shoe, do you buy my tennis shoe or do you buy the Nike? So do we really support black business? Like, are we so caught up in the mainstream of shit that a black business trying to get off the ground is kind of looked at as some knockoff shit. What you think?
Explain. Tell me where you're coming from with it one more time. I really didn't get it.
So I'm a plumber, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm young. I just finished my journeyman shit or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and here, fuck that. Let's make it real, right? I'm a tax pro, right? I've been doing taxes for 17 years. Well,
Okay.
18 years now, right?
Gotcha.
Legitimately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because most of my friends who hit me up about tax related issues January to April are people who want me to do they want me to conspire with them to defraud the federal government, and I ain't with that shit, right?
Right.
So the fact that I won't do no hook tax return for you, right, is one issue, right? But the fact that you actually worked all year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came, sat with me, and what I'm saying, smoked weed, chilled, went to your job every day. And at the end of the year, you got your W-2s, and I got a whole office set up right where you come and sit and smoke weed and kick it with me. And you go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt, you don't fuck with me. I got the same credentials as these motherfucking big box stores. And you know me. You fuck with me every day of the fucking year, except the day that you need to get your taxes done. Then you go to the white people.
Right. Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying now. Okay. So, well, okay. Because I want to say it like this. It's not like you just a cool cup, man. I'm coming by cool cups from you. We're saying, like you said, we're saying like you have a legitimate business. You do this every year from tax time, and you establish. So why can't I give you? Yeah, why can't I fuck with you? I know I definitely get that. I get that, and that's just us not, you know,
I'll make it
not
even worse
taking
than
a
that.
chance on each
I'll take
other.
it and I'll make it even worse than that. I'll make it personal, and my niggas gonna be mad at me, but I don't give a fuck because nigga, it is what it is anyway. I got a group of niggas who was thug niggas, right? These niggas was out selling weed and crack and whatever, and then got old and went and got jobs. Now, mind you, I've been doing taxes for 6 months of the year, every year, while I sell weed and fucking do whatever the fuck else I was doing while I was trapping, right? So these is niggas that know that I fuck around. Now, these niggas go get jobs, and of course, niggas be trying to get as much money from the little checks as possible. So, when you first, sign your paperwork, get your job or whatever, you going exempt or you got 4 fucking dependents and all this kind of shit. But tax time, it's just your ass, right? Because your baby mama's using the kids because she went to work just like you, right?
Right.
So now you don't have these people taking enough money out of your check every month, and it's the end of the year, and you owe the IRS $2,100. You done made $40,000 this fucking year or whatever. Now, I can reduce your shit down to the $2,100, but you got to fucking pay them $2,100, right? Now, what I do is some whole other shit to make the $2,100 disappear because you my motherfucker, right? Like, I ain't gonna sign off on your shit, but I'll do the work for you. You sign it yourself, right? And then give you instructions. Like, okay, nigga, next year you need to do this, that, and the third so your shit don't be fucked up. Then the next year, you do what you're supposed to do, and I don't do your taxes. You call me asking me for the fucking your last year's AGI, because this year's tax motherfucker needs it to file your taxes.
Right. You all been there. Right, that point. Right.
So do we really support black business for real, or do we just talk that shit?
Not like we could, not like we should. And even when we do and stuff like that, I firmly agree that, when you're going to other people, you're not asking them for hookups, and you need to stop, get out the habit of always wanting a hookup from your own people. That they're trying to survive just like you are. They have a new business just like you are. They have, they can't give you the hookup all the time and still be able to buy product and be able to support and let their business sustain. They have families, they have other employees they still have to pay. So why every time you come, you got to get the hookup, and stuff like that. So no, I think
That
that
should be pissing me so off, but
yeah, stuff like that. And I definitely get it. We have to again, you know, respect mine. Like
that shit, we do that we do that in criminal endeavors. Look, like I said, I was the weed man for 20 years, right? And I'm talking about when it was a nickel a weed, $5, right?
right,
Fucking $5 sacks, right? I was a nickel bag king, right? And it would amaze me that, first of all, I'm giving you so much shit for your $5 that I make it impossible for you to go fuck with anybody else for the $5, right? But then on top of that, you would come and you would tell me, I only got four. Can I get it for four? Because I need to buy a blunt. So you mean to tell me that I'm giving you love, right?
right.
And you would short me $1, but you won't short the liquor store 3 cents.
Mhm.
If you're a nickel short, they won't sell that shit to you. But
Mhm.
and you don't even ask. You don't even ask the motherfuckers at the liquor store, hey man, I'm short 25 cents. Can I get this pack of blunts? Because he's gonna shut your ass down. But you come to me and you know I'm hustling. I can go to the penitentiary any minute. When you walk out the door, the police can walk in. And you have the nerve to want to short me on my fucking door. So you really ain't supporting my black bitch. I'm there because I'm there to make it convenient for you. That's how people look at it. When people open black business, even if I opened a liquor store, right,
Mhm.
or a fish market on the corner, niggas would expect that. Well, why you charging? You charging the same thing as H salt? Well, I should be charging more, motherfucker. My shit is better than theirs, right? And it's right here. You ain't got to get in your car and go nowhere, and this, that, and the third. And you know me. You've been knowing me for 20 years. Why? Like you said, why wouldn't you fucking support? You feel what I'm saying? But people,
Well,
I've,
I
I've,
mean, I feel the same way because and I I take it real personal when it comes to my mama because I know what other people paying. It'd be different if my mom been working some of the top bakeries. She worked in some of the type bakeries. That's where these and a lot of times that's where these recipes coming from. I hate when people I I hate for her to have to downgrade her services. And on top of that, they have to still try to get the product to somebody. They not come and pick it up. Most
right.
of the people who want mama cakes live out of town. She still got to try to get it to them. We got to still try to get it to them because that shit fell on me and my sister real hard back in the day. I'm like, no, you charging the same price. When they was coming about it to the casino to get the fucking pudding, they paid it. So now because you making the
Mm-hmm.
same bread pudding for them at the house for the function, it can't be the same price. What? No. Let me tell you one thing. It ain't. Let me say no, no, because I got
I
a
feel
girl.
you.
I got a girl in New Orleans who I buy cakes from, and when I get it, it's usually between $80 and $90 a wop. I'm good with that because I'm never going to short anybody because she does good quality work and she does the work that I expect my mama to do. And back in the heydays when my mama was doing work like that, she wasn't charging and she wasn't getting no work. People want specialty cakes. People ain't out here making caramel cakes. People out here making German chocolate cakes. On top of that, still making wedding cakes and birthday cakes. That shit take time. You most times you gotta stand over a stove. People want pecan candy. You gotta stir that shit. You gotta make sure you don't let it scorch. You gotta put your time and effort into it. So when I hate let me tell you one thing. Because I have a girl now that I get cakes from when I'm in New Orleans like that, and just because, like I said, it's just more convenient when I'm there than to try to have to go all the way by my mom and get the cake or something like that, unless somebody just really want one of my mama cakes. Because I know she charged between $80 and $9 a wop. I don't expect my mama cake to be any less. And this girl does the same thing. She's doing it from home. She, she not in established bakery that you got to go
Right.
in and get. She's still doing the same thing that mama doing and stuff like that. And I just don't, I don't get it. So, because if it was that easy, you can go get it from anybody else. If it was that good, you'd be asking them to make it.
Right. Right.
So go get it. Go get it from them for $50 and see if they're gonna try to get it to you and all that other shit that come with it. Do it. I'd rather sell myself high and then have to come down in the middle. So that's my little personal rant. That's how I feel about that. But no, I do believe that people, like I said, they want you to, you know, that's like getting a 10-cent frozen cup. You go up 50, you go up 5 cents or 25, and they want to know why you went up. Because it's not 1993, it's not 1983 anymore.
Right. Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid pack that went up. Sugar has gone up.
Oh,
Everybody else got inflation. Why we can't have inflation? Why we can't have taxes on our shit? When I buy a soda, there's still taxes on it. If I'm buying it out the store, unless I'm just getting it out the machine. What's up, Nick Nash?
hey.
What's up, baby?
I had to go get some headphones and all that good stuff.
Oh, okay, I hear you. We hear you over here.
Yeah, I was like, man, my little thing not working right, so I had to come post up and get some headphones. Plug hardline, baby. No wireless today.
Post up. Look like the weather is good in the background. You ain't got no coat on.
Oh no, t-shirt.
The struggle is real.
Oh,
the struggle is real for the fucking Piranha Pond. Trust and believe.
Meanwhile, keep struggling over there.
Man.
No, I'm saying that. Hey, but at the end of the day, when we come together by any means necessary. How Malcolm X said it, by any means.
Right. We're gonna get this.
Our voices shall be heard. Oh, remembering Black Wall Street. That's what y'all on today?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I mean, we dab into that and went into sometimes, like are we really supporting our black businesses, or like we should and could. We kind of started talking about that too a little bit.
So that's I think I brought it up the other day when we was like, did we do anybody ever talk about all the massacres that went on like in Rosewood and actually two other Wall Street up in New York that was held down by the natives. So all these places was held down by the natives. And like Black Wall Street from a long time ago, it was actually that they $1 circulated 3 times. Like it stayed in the community 3 times around, right? So they was able to build and distribute amongst themselves, airports, airplanes, so forth and so on. And yes, we're right at the crest of that again with the social media when people tell you the truth. The other avenues when people are actually sitting down and talking and getting past the ignorance. Not trying to look like one up somebody else, like Mario Brothers, right? So yes, our financial institutions, what we govern when we let the universe create through us, businesses. I know a while ago we said, the strength coming just from my grandfather, Uncle Lionel, roofers, carpenters, painters, the man with the food truck that used to drive around, popping up a tent, and I actually carry that further in life with going to festivals, finding out, getting the tax ID number, going buying stuff wholesale, making my money back, and actually start trying to, spread it around to my family members and say, hey, if we could spend money on all these other days, why can't we invest in merchandise? But then it actually morphed into something else with the younger people, cryptocurrency, doing this podcast, monetizing, getting everything stable, and bringing everybody along with us. Whoever want to advertise, so forth and so on. So yes, the possibility always been there. Or people willing up to step up to the plate and get it from the mud like we all do. And
right.
hell yeah. And I think that's the part. Just like you, right? You're mix a lot. You know what I'm saying? Your liqueurs and all the rest of the stuff that actually brings comfort to people's, events. Would you want to say they soul or just make them feel comfortable just being out there? So yes, it's actually here. I try to delve, dive into it every day. As far as me concerned. And recently I started to learn how not to hold back and actually give up the information and talk about it. Because I don't own it, because it's a graveyard full of millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, scientists, so forth and on, but they, time waits for no one. So if they didn't get it out and pass it on to the people that's coming behind, whether it was their children or they mentor somebody, that is the soul. I think that's the secret for the people to get off and say that, it don't matter if somebody don't do nothing with it, but to give it out, to lend a voice to it, to say it's a possibility. Well, not a possibility. If you believe in yourself, you could obtain that goal. And the hardest thing to do is to invest in yourself. That's the hardest thing to do is say, I'm instead of filling in the spots with, 9 to 5, become your own entrepreneur. Then people hating on you. Oh, not that's the gift and the curse, because when you do something like that, oh, you don't have time for me because they go into a regular 9 to 5. And they be like, fuck you. You don't have time for me. It is all, you think you better than me? Because we sitting on the beach somewhere working off our computer. Talk about managing the books. Working on QuickBooks to see where we need to go to payroll. Yeah, that's the part of being a young entrepreneur that I like, when I'm in QuickBooks or on the phone with the bank, paying payroll. And not just paying the people, not with not something that's going to keep my doors open, but actually what they're worth. That's the whole thing. I'm gonna overpay you, because if I do ever get rid of the business, they're not buying my name, they're buying the people that come with the business, and people forget about that.
So Nick, right before you jumped on, what me and Shell was talking about, what we were asking ourselves, is the question of, do we really support Black businesses, or is that just, the rhetoric? And the example that I gave, and I made it real personal, was, how I got a legitimate fucking business. I'm a legitimate tax professional. And people that I know that know about my skills only holler at me when they want me to do something illegal for them. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously. Because I tell them no. Fuck the legend. And then in the scenarios where I have kind of stretched, the limits or the lines to provide somebody with, some extra hookup because they done fucked up, straighten their shit out. Then once they shit gets straightened out, they go fuck with the white people. When they no longer need a nigga to do nothing outside of the fucking box. And your shit is just regular now. You went to work, your shit is squared up, you don't owe the IRS shit no more, and now you just need to get your taxes done on this fucking $40,000 you made. You go fuck with the white people. You don't come back and fuck with your boy who you had fucking dancing on the lines of fucking criminal conspiracy to defraud the federal government.
So with that tale, right? Because you actually know their truth. So if they was out here peacocking like there was all that in their business, and they got to come in on a personal level, and you actually see the numbers, but you're not the kind of dude that'll go back and put people personal business because you're on a professional level, right? So that is the key part where people's like, he knows my true financial history because I can't lie to him. It's on paper, right? So yeah, it comes with, that is which I don't even know what word to call it. That is the truth that comes out when you actually try to legitimize yourself. If people are scared if they talk to themselves, okay, let me go back. That fake it till I make it shit, when they come see the tax man, they can't fake it no more. You know what I'm
but
about?
I guess what I'm saying is,
I was going to go further than that, right? Is the
Okay,
thing
go ahead.
is now they get into the upper echelon, right? So
Mm-hmm.
to try to use you as a gateway to say, well, I use Mac, but now I get to roam on the other side of the tracks. That's the gift and the curse, because once you start messing up, when you get in a Bernie Madoff situation or whatever, and you thought you trusted that person over there, when they know that you was looking out for them from the mud, that is the sludge that's in our mouth. That's the bad taste in our mouth, right? Because you're gonna do the same, whether you know where you could be a forensic tax person all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So what
That
Shell
part I
was
see.
what Shell was
And
saying, her example was, like, I'll say with the cakes, right? So say put all this fucking work and shit into creating these beautiful creations that are not only on scale with the shit that the white people do, but better, right? And then niggas want a fucking discount.
and that's the thing that, like I was saying, that it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because we get it from the mud. Our self-design and our self-worth, even if we don't say it, right? But to come up to us and say, I got the hookup because I'm supporting black business, but not knowing I got 2 or 3 grown kids and 5 or 6 grandkids, right? But not even
Mm-hmm.
that is pay me when I work, because I know what my worth is, right? I know with the gratification of me putting a quality product out there, right? But so for me to get validation from somebody from around the corner at the bar room, it don't go that far. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the support kind of fall off, because now I can afford to go somewhere else. But the priceless thing is that you was the person that put them in the know. And that is the part where we get confused at, when we say supporting black businesses. Because when I used to open up stores in the mall, people ask me, why you not going to Macy's? But hey, you know what? I got the same scarves that Macy's do. I got it from the same place that they got it from. And I might sell mine $2 cheaper. But I got the people coming in, marketing wise, So I still would go right there at the barbershop, or put me right to a festival and be in the mall at the same time. Get money everywhere. So that is the part that's always been, right? One of the downfalls of us. Because once we get there, they say, oh, did I go to school with you? Did my baby I got twins, so can I get the other cake for half price? Like, no. But I'm not never gonna be an asshole or whatever. That's just the standard that I set for myself. Now it's up to me to choose if I want to function in that kind of way. That's like saying I still like going to Red Lobster, but you got that right. I go to Roost Kiss, or I go to the barbecue shack and get my fried pigtails and stuff for my cousin at the baseball field. So that's the one thing. So the support system really comes from within. Who want to sign up for it? Because when you start cracking, I'm gonna be there to support you because you support me. Bottom line,
And that's just loud.
So I hope I answered your question. Could I be all over the place? But if you just support me when I'm coming up, I'm there to support you, or your grandkids, or whoever it is. Even if you sit in the rocking chair in the front and still making pecan candy, or you sitting there turning that wrist, I'm still coming to support you, because that's the whole thing that we learned, like from the country in New Orleans, that the $5 dinner plates, everybody came. If you open up a restaurant, you know, can you afford to come up there, or did you move into the upper echelon of, I might got the mayor coming, I might have a city council people coming, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all to straighten up or dress a certain way, but the people up in there say, God damn it, you know how I work, and it don't work, my recipe don't work if I ain't talking like this or whatever, so I got to straighten up for who? You gonna get the same ass, sit your ass down, I'm gonna wipe off the table and do my thing. And people, that's the allure of all that stuff, so
You know
I
what?
think it's,
But you know what really? Go ahead. Go ahead.
but I really think when the homegrown businesses come like yourself, Mac, like yourself, sell that manage, you know, corporations and stuff. But if you actually had it and you actually campaign to say, look, I'm gonna treat you fair and balanced. like I said, my thumb is not going to be on the scale. But when you ask me to do something all the way different, I can't actually step up to it. So I'm not a sucker. I'm just, because you're not going to be able to save me if something go wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Mr. Magic Man. But I'm going to support your business. And we have to start getting into that. Whether it's, social media, letting people know, blogs, the food is good, so forth.
Right.
And the word of mouth is the most organic
Mm-hmm.
support of everything.
I mean, a lot of people just don't like what the platforms that everybody have right now with Facebook and Instagram and with Twitter, with everything else that, really and truly, that's your commercial. That's
Yeah.
your word of mouth. And stuff
Right.
like that. I'ma post it, you gonna share it, you gonna reshare it, you gonna retweet it, and that's it. These days is how you get your product out there, how you get your fan base. I mean, it's not any different than what we doing at the end of the pod when we saying, give us that dub on, YouTube, hit that bell, like, subscribe,
Well,
and share, and
let me ask you guys this. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Frank says something real interesting. Well, shit. While I'm getting off my personal gripes, shit. Frank said something that really just rang in my ear. I was talking to somebody about it, and he didn't say it as an indictment. He said it like as a hope. He was like, "Shit, I'm waiting for the time when, the Piranha Pond views is reflecting my Facebook friends list." And I thought about that shit. I'm like, man, I got over 1,000 friends. Like, and I don't got a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, I know all
Yeah,
these
you
motherfuckers,
know 'em.
right?
Right.
And we be
Right.
like doing 20 views and shit, man, on Facebook. What the fuck is going on? Right?
Right. Because we resharing it and resharing it and resharing it. So, but it's a matter of time. We're gonna stay steadfast. We're gonna stay committed.
Well,
We're gonna stay
I
trying to
think
give,
I
relative
think
topics and good conversation.
I think what was kind of bothering me about that is not that people haven't caught on or whatever, but like I ask people, like, "What's up? Have you checked out the Pine Wolf?" And or somebody will say, "Oh yeah, I see you trying to do your little podcast shit," but it's always done or said in a manner like our shit ain't real. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like we some bootleg shit. And then I'll be looking at other people's shit that do the same shit that we do, and our shit looks way better. Right? You know what I'm saying? But it's just the stigma that comes along. Like when we first started this, me and Frank was saying, shit, powered by the people. Like, nigga, the people, the whole idea was, let's do a podcast and broadcast it to the people who actually know us. So it ain't like you watching Joe Budden or, one of these other motherfuckers that you don't know and having you know, uh, some visceral feeling about whatever it is that they're talking about. And these is
Right.
people who don't affect your lives. We are people who we actually hear, like, you can actually call me, right? Like my number
Yeah.
is on Facebook, like for real, it's my real number, right? You can hit me on fucking Messenger and I'm gonna answer because it ain't like, who the fuck is this fan? You know what I'm saying? My fans
Yeah.
is designed to be the people that know me already and people that are gonna be proud of us for what we doing, not people that's, the response. Most of the response is good. I'll say that. But the
Yeah.
times when I be getting that, yeah, I see y'all doing your little fake ass podcast, woo, woo, and saying it jokingly, but your jokes be revealing what you really feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
The first
you
thing out your mouth is
support,
the truth.
motherfucker. You don't gotta watch. Just share the shit. You know what I'm saying? If you see it pop up on your timeline, hit the share button, man. What's wrong with that? You don't got to take your whole hour. I could understand if we're talking about shit that you don't want to hear, but we be so all over the place. How can you not find a subject that the pond talks about that affects you?
Right.
So, and this is the cold part, right? Because you could chime in anytime and we'll take
Right.
10 minutes out and say, hey, this is your concern. Because it's like we used to sit around in a square or in the middle of the little the little the filling in pool with the cement and talk right there. We got more education from that and how we feel, relationship things. Don't be tripping. How you doing today? You know what I'm saying? All that is the most. We are so personable. You know what I'm saying? It's so organic with it that it ain't no ill will intention or to bring anybody down. And that is the overall picture that we're gonna bash you or make you look weak. The fear. No fear means freedom. Free yourself of your being inside your head.
But it's
It's
not even
okay.
like we're just trying to like beat you over the head with our point of view. You know,
No.
we collectively have, usually between 3 to 4 point of views, and we're always welcoming you to, give us your opinion in the comments. We come on and we address those and stuff like that. Shout out to Toronto. Hey honey, hey
Yeah.
baby, miss you. See you
It's a
soon.
family it's a family
So
affair. My
yeah, we
mama
try to
listened to
make
this.
it right. We try to make it a family affair and stuff like that. And
Oh, my
you,
mama be
you know,
listening for real,
but
for real.
Oh, she
again,
be in.
that
Your
goes
mama
back
be in
to
everything but the comments.
just but again, that goes back to just like
Yeah.
like we said, we just want to get in more into we got to give people flowers while they living. We have to celebrate people while they living. We,
Oh yeah.
we not here for a long time, but we need to make it a decent time, a good time, and stuff like that, and do what we need to do and stuff like that. Regardless if we take off or not, I'm happy to be on here with y'all. On here for our good hour. However we gonna go, especially when we get to a
Therapeutic for me.
topic and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
For
I've
me
been
too.
able to get a lot of things off my chest with this, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So again, sometimes, because again, we're kind of all over the place with topics. You can jump on here and you might, one day we might be, talking about how to, start your own company, and the next day, we talking about, how to deal with baby mama, bringing over the
Yeah.
new dude to pick up the young one. You know, how you feel about
And
that,
Now,
Kawan? Like you good with that?
Nick,
You
Nick,
know,
your mom says she saw on it. Just sent me a text.
see?
Mama Nell said, "Yeah, I be on it." Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
yo,
So the
be
thing is,
on
right?
it. You got
So
to
to
be on it.
yeah, so
So
to
yeah,
all the people that's in that come across us, viewers or people that's just getting to see us for the first time and
hmm
actually hear the conversation, right? Because we want to see you, value you, and cherish you. Those three
right,
things is the universal law about the
right.
whole thing. And nothing's taboo
No, and
with
because we're
us.
all passionate about what we do and what we talk about, we are upon. But people need to realize that we're upon the family, and
Right.
most of our views with our families, we don't get, we all don't share the same point of view.
Yeah,
It's a trait.
yeah,
You find two McLeans or two Moores that agree on the same thing, hey, you did good that day. Most of us have a different point of view about it, and that's what I love about it. It's the diversity. I mean, my favorite line to Keena that her kids have not tagged on that me and her do is out today to this day. I had to learn to have to stop, because of my mom. I had to stop fighting with Keena. So what we do is we have to agree to disagree. So most times it works, sometimes it don't. Keena said ain't flying with her kids. They so
yeah.
mad at no, no, I'm right and you're wrong.
Look,
It
I
ain't
had to
flying
do the
with her
same thing
kids.
with Felicia and Anne Marie because I'm
Right.
it's a big gap between all of us. I'm 5.5 years older than Felicia. She's 18 years older than
Older
Anna.
than Anne Marie,
So,
yes.
you start looking at things like I know shit more than you, and I have been very domineering in my real life. And then
Right.
my sister don't play that shit. Like she's been grown since she been grown. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
It's just
all
like
that
people are
big
right.
brother shit, it's almost like the
Everybody have
roles is
different experiences, right? You
reversed.
can't downplay
Yeah.
nobody's life experiences. Everybody has lived some type of life. And again, who am I to tell you your life experiences don't amount to mine? Even if I do feel like that, I can't downplay yours, and
Yeah.
Right.
stuff like that. Right.
Yeah, because and the thing is, right? And the thing is, I just start letting it out because I've been through the fire.
Right.
If people don't know, I've been through the fire, right? But one thing hasn't changed. I'm not hurt. I'm just disappointed,
Yeah.
right? Because the truth will unfold, and God showed me the truth. You
Right.
know,
Well,
it's
the thing about that is too that you have to. I say it all the time. Because I have to remind myself, and that's why I always post it. You really have to count it all joy.
yeah,
And realize that joy will come in the morning and stuff like that. Sometimes, I have to say it to tell it to myself. I got to make myself believe it. Like, you can't just count it out joy when it's good. You got to count it out joy means you got to count it out joy even when it's good or it's bad and stuff like that
yeah,
because life ain't gonna be perfect. So you have to
yeah,
really, you got to take the good and the bad and stuff like that. You got to take the experiences what it is. You got to, like I said all the time, like take what you need out of a
yeah,
bad situation and keep it moving and stuff like that. You can't sit in it. And sometimes we'll just get caught up and sit in it and stuff like that. But we gotta, we got to. And on top of that too, we have to, we just have to realize that, everybody has things they're going through and doing stuff like that. You know, uh,
yeah.
Stuff is
And
real for us and stuff like that. So if you need to talk to somebody, you need to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and talk to them and stuff like that. You need to know that it's a, you need to know when it's a, you gotta make sure you have your people that it's a no judgment type of zone, a no judgment type of atmosphere. You need to be able to talk to people because you know we see what's happening. People holding stuff, they killing people, they killing themselves, and
yeah,
stuff like that. You have to, but I think I said all of to say is that you got to use your gift of discernment. You got to
yeah,
trust your gut on some stuff. If something don't feel right, most times out of 10, it might not be right. And,
yeah,
and just gotta, like I said, you gotta count it all joy.
yeah. So, and I'm gonna put it out there like this. So I'm gonna throw a rock in the pond, right, to create some ripples. So my thing is, right, your life savings is not gonna save your life. So if you banking on your life is changing for money, that shit don't matter. I'm just gonna put that out there, right? And the second thing is, I went through a thing in my life where I got sick and I actually left my body. I actually ascended to another place. But I heard a voice in my head said, the promise you made to me when I birthed you is not done. Go back to the place. So my mission from there on was, it took me a while to adjust. I stayed quiet. I had keep on pins and needles. It's only certain specific people in my family that knew what was going on. And you know, I,
Right.
I say that I didn't hide it, but I wasn't making the forefront of my life because
Right.
I don't lead with stories like that because that's not. And I had to put my pride to the side. I had to put whoever Declare Napoleon Jr. was and all the stuff I built in life. I didn't have none of those things anymore. I didn't have uh European cars in the hospital. I didn't have big 5-bedroom houses. I didn't have going to the yacht clubs and all the rest. I had none of that. 30 days in the hospital.
Your mama said it's really real when the pup becomes part of the pie.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
He
Right.
saying?
came in and just
Right.
hijacked the whole camera angle and everything. Did y'all see that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we saw
so
that. You wanted
so
for the excitement.
so my
Came
thing
in and
is, right?
looked in and then went on and did her thing. Now she
Yeah,
back drinking out the toilet.
yeah. So you know what I'm saying? It was a while where I didn't want Keith to worry, so I didn't put that on his plate. But then I got the royal cousin out of all royal cousin outs, right? He's like, but why did you tell a nigga? Right? But in that shows strength and resilience, right? And yeah, I took a hit, right? But the thing that how my life been past that, it's like X all those things out, right? What's in your mind and what's in your heart, the organic way, and to tell people the truth, no matter how they might receive it. Whether I have lotion for sale, toothpicks, or popsicles, right? But whatever's behind that, if I let the universe create through me, that's what it is. And creating a conversation because I have a voice still that I share with y'all on an everyday basis when the internet's working right, when I'm not stuck in the middle of the woods. You know what I'm saying? And this is the part that's therapy for me because now I have a platform to be me and the people and the person that y'all know me to be, but with a little bit more strength. You know? to actually, like, I ain't scared. If you don't like it, then I don't care. It's no skin off my back. Was you there when I left out of here? Was you there after I came out of it? And yes, the people that are really tried and true, that love me in life for who I am, it don't care about my accolades, right?
Right.
It's a care about this conversation that we have it, and we can speak because I'm still here. And I'm not being selfish with holding none of my things back because it's coming from a loving place, a family place. You know what I'm saying? All the people that inspired me when I said, it's okay. When they say, Nikki, you didn't fail at nothing. You know what I'm saying? And the next hardest thing I had to do was say, accept that I can't work like I used to work before. Because that was my cop-out. Right? That was my cop-out. Me working, even in my own business, and it says, you can't do everything all of the time.
Oh, now you want to show up in the comments, huh?
Okay. and that is the part that we got. So we putting out the olive branch now, right? Because like you know, that this conversation started at the lake house. You know what I'm saying, with the hook and crook fishing. Now it morphed into this, right? And it actually developed where it's like now we're in touch with everybody out there. It's not just, oh, I heard about. Well, you could check in live at 5, 7 Central and be like, and get all the everything.
Get all the and you can go back and watch the replay.
Yeah,
everything got a title.
So whatever table that you built and you prepared that meal, we got the ingredients to go with that meal. How about that? You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna dish it out, not to have a bad taste in your mouth, but to say, you know what? I finally got it out. I'm finally freed in that. I'm finally out of my head with that. Period. You know, and that's what we're actually working for. So with every, you know, as soon as we get bigger, people want to advertise, people want to put in the bottom, you know, halfway commercials or whatever. Because we all gonna come together and have a big old party at the end of the year. It's like, did you grow? Yeah. Did you grow? Hey, did you put the one through? Did they get to that ballet class that they want to? Did they get to that hip hop dance recital?
We do got this app gives us opportunity to put a 30-second spot in front of right before we go live. It's designed for us to be like a countdown, but you can put a little video up in there, 30-second commercial or something.
Yeah. So whoever got a pressure washing business, car wash, detailing, cleaning service, whatever, information on mental health, you know, child development, all the rest of that stuff. This is there. Although we might be cursing or whatever, but don't act like you don't curse in that man cave or that bathroom or the homegirl standing up there. It don't, you know what I'm saying? And that part right there, it's the thing is, like we said, like even my friend, I don't call them friends, I call them confidants. That's out here in the woods and in the city part. You know, that is the part that they chime in. But I'm gonna start going to their tattoo shops. I'm gonna start being outside, like in the woods, be at the whole little thing and everything. You know, so it's like, look, I'm gonna try to be out here in the streets. I'm gonna be from the woods in the hood, but not in the real hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in where everything cracking at, you know, because my life, the universe said that I need to do these things, you know, because I am a living reality of having everything you possibly can have in life, right? But when you don't take care of your mental health and your body health, and you don't eat right and do all these things, it don't matter how hard you work. Keith told me this. You think we want to stand up there and they say something about you? Oh, Nikki sure worked hard. Nah, God damn it. You should have talked about it and not help you, but guide you along if you was confused about something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You was confused in a part of your life where you didn't think you had a voice. Then I'll get frustrated. And this is what it is. And we walk away not butthurt or diminished or taking the wins out of ourselves. We're like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't think about that. And yes, I do talk backwards. Right? And I do, and the part is, I want you to walk away from it. You know, and get it later on.
Yeah, we definitely have to start celebrating them small victories. You know, like you said, if we're waiting to do something like some big grand gesture or some type of like, oh, I did this and this is gonna be, it's gonna be it. You can't do all that. You have to celebrate the small victories. You have to you have to give yourself your flowers. You know, why are you still here and stuff like that. Again, you know, like I said, you know, if you got something you want to do, then take the initiative, take the leeway, try to get it off the ground, try to see what's popping. If you got more than one like-minded type people for the same idea, see what y'all can do together. But you know, generational wealth is not going to come until we start back investing in ourselves. You know, that's going to be
Yeah,
investing in ourselves, pulling our land, pulling our resources. You know, again, policing our own communities and stuff like that. We gotta set the bar for the shit that we want because it's not gonna get any. I don't know. It may actually be better for the next generation because these kids own it. You know, it's very a techno world, but
yeah.
I still feel like again, you know, we we got to get in this fight a whole lot more than we need to and stuff like that. You know, hey, we all getting older. We all got issues going on to us, but you know, we need to be there. We need to be at them polls. We need to be beating that block. We need to be marching. We need to be protesting when we can. You know, all of us have it in us to do a whole lot better, especially if we want things to get better and stuff like that. Because it's every time it seems like we're going 2 steps forward, we take 5 steps back. So again, you know, we want to be able to just, you know, we just got to think we got to do better. We have to put a little bit more time and effort into what we want. But again, we need to take those chances that we want to take. You know, it's never too late to start all over to do something different. And and we
Right.
just have to get out
Oh,
the
you ain't never
that
lied because I had
that
to do it.
that complicity, just being, just stagnant and just accepting everything that comes to you. No, you don't have to. And also too, don't be afraid to tell somebody no. If it ain't what you want,
Oh
don't
yeah, hell
accept
yeah.
it. All money ain't good money. I'm gonna
Right.
take this because you're giving it to me, or I'm gonna take this with stipulations on it. No, that's not how I work. If I
Mhm.
can't have it to in a in a general manner to where it's gonna be, comfortable for me, and stuff like that. And also too, stop being so comfortable. Comfortable don't get you anywhere in life. You got to get out your comfort zone to do something. So you want to be great. You got to do something memorable.
Yeah.
Well,
And
in close, go ahead, Nick. What you was gonna say
I said you
before I
absolutely
close it
right. And
out?
thank you for those encouraging words, right? Because that is the absolute truth. And thank you, Shell, right there. So in closing, Matt.
So, in closing, what I will say is that I think you kind of missed the part, Nick, where I was saying that historically we've lost the passing down of the oral history that kind of instills in us this idea that foundationally we can be more than what we have been for the last 50 years, right? Like
Hmm.
we are kind of steeped in the idea of being self-sufficient, having small business. Um, these are people nowadays kind of look for major brands, right? You look for the big box stores because you have confidence in that. But small business is 80% of business in America, right? So
Yeah.
the engine that runs the big machine is the mom and pop stores, the niggas like
Hmm.
me, you, Shell, that's trying to make something happen. We find out that we do something well, you know what I'm saying, and try to figure out how to make money. The
Hmm.
other side of the coin is that what we are always faced with is the idea that black folks don't ever do anything correctly. Like we always half-ass it, right?
Who said the hell
My
said that?
well, white people, right?
Oh,
White people say it, and then niggas adopt it, right? So when white people put the idea or the narrative that black people are lazy and shiftless, even though we built all this shit, right, for no pay, right? Got up every morning and went and did that shit for gruel. But in any event, when that narrative gets pushed forward, then with us, with our crabs in the barrel asses, we adopt that shit, right? And so we don't want to do business with other blacks because we always look at other blacks doing business as something janky, something budget, something bootleg. You know what I'm saying? It's never that. We got the same fucking education, right? Like I get certified by the same IRS as the white boy, right? Same person. Matter of fact, when you go to the big box store to Jackson Hewitt, you're generally going to sit across for somebody who took a 6-week course and learn how to take your information and put it in the computer and let the software do the fucking math. I do the math.
Yeah.
For 20 years.
I know you do.
You feel what I'm saying?
On paper.
So
in the pen.
But I'm still looked at as the nigga that you come to get some janky shit done. Oh, this is the janky tax man. Even though I be shutting niggas down on the janky shit, right? Like, nigga, I don't fuck with that shit. I ain't going to the federal penitentiary for your dog ass. Because guess what? When the feds come knock on the door, you're going to tell on me, right? Yeah. You ain't going to think of it like that, but you're going to think of it like, hey, I got a tax man. Keith Rogers is my tax man, and talk to him. Well, nigga, you asked me to do some illegal shit from the jump.
Right.
But you figured, because I'm certified, registered, all this shit, I got all the documentation that, oh, yeah, well, I just put it on him. But guess what? Both of us are going to the federal penitentiary for 10 years. Right?
Off the rip.
So I'm just not going to have them conversations with you. As soon as you start talking that shit, you know, I'm like, I'm 20 years in, bro. Uncle Whitney told me, look, my first year, I said, man, how do I learn? I want to learn how to get people them big ass returns and shit, them big refunds. And Uncle Whitney said, nigga, you concentrating on the wrong shit. All the problems that you're going to deal with trying to do some illegal shit, if you put the same fucking work into doing the legal shit, you'll make twice as much money.
That's the whole
fuck
thing.
Is wrong with you, right?
Yeah. He said, you know what?
And I was like, because I was fresh out of prison, fresh from doing 10 years. So I still had that thug mentality and shit, right? I'm thinking about, how to defraud the fucking government.
Yeah,
not how to actually do the work. Like it's people like, it's people who own, 11, 12 pieces of income property. The mama's a doctor and the dad's a lawyer, like some real Cosby Show shit. Like we actually got people like that in the community. Guess what? When it comes time for them to write that check to the IRS, and it's a question between writing a $14,000 check or writing an $8,000 check, but you give me $1,500 to reduce that 14 to 8, they want to talk to my ass, or they want to talk to Whitney. You feel what I'm saying? So he ain't never had to do no fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that he's dealing with, they support his fucking business. For real, because he does good work. So that's what I was saying, is that I made it long, is that generally we start with a half a foot in the grave. So even if you're doing business with somebody black, you got to have in your mind the idea that they may have that you might not do a good job. So what you have to do is eliminate that. And it's very easy to do, right? Because in business, the concept in business that I go by is this, right? If you pay me for a product or a service, you're paying me for expert service or an expert quality product, period, right? Or else you'll go spend the money with somebody else. If you spend a cheaper amount, you get a cheaper product. I'm going to provide you with expert service and an expert product at the end of the fucking engagement, period. Yeah. Right? It's best quality shit. Everything that you got coming out of this engagement, you will get. But I want all my money too, right? Don't start talking to me about, why you think my fucking work is $200 less. You kiss my ass with that bullshit. The thing about it though is that you got to be expert. You can't come in there and decide you're gonna redo somebody's bathroom and you ain't gonna fucking go get the fucking permits from the city.
Nope. Because they can come at any time where you're
You feel what I'm saying? You gotta get expert service if you're gonna expect for people to pay you, the dollar amount that your work is worth.
Well, how Frank Nunfly said, for the people, by the people. So
exactly. And with that, we got an hour and 15 minutes in, hour and a quarter. doing the damn thing. Look, Nick, we prepared to do this. This was gonna be a duo, right? We was gonna drive this goddamn train, me and Shell, right? About this Black Wall Street. You popped up right on time too, brother. Good looking out.
Yeah. All the time, baby. You know, look, if I'm in the middle of the woods, yeah, you're not gonna hear from me. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm good.
I want to send a shout out to my boy Frank Flyer. He said he was gonna try to check in during middle of practice. I guess it kind of got hectic, or he didn't have Wi-Fi, because he didn't even jump in the comments, and he would have at least been in the comments. So shout out to Frank, shout out to my nephew Trey, and knock them on their butts, man. Y'all already know what it is.
Little Pancake, that's his name, Little Pancake.
Hey, we're gonna roll with that. I want to send a shout out to everybody that joined us on Facebook and YouTube Live. Special shout out to the comment section, to all my support, Tracy, Keena, Ronald, Kev. Like, share, subscribe, go over to YouTube, give us a sub over there. Watch us on a replay. As usual, we have been live at 5/Central from the Piranha Pod.